is interesting, fun information that we are allowed to play with and enjoy and understand. Now, one of the things that we talk about here is the sacredness of locations. And you know, I always talk about Mecca and being in the holy city and the importance of the Kaaba. And if you listen to the stories of truth, you understand the importance of the Kaaba in our story in sacred geometry. But what does any of this have to do with lions? Well, if we're going to talk about lions, beings of the lion nature, but we said we believe in Allah, the Lord Most High. We don't worship lions. Well, of course we don't worship lions. That's obvious. So where are we going? People will say, oh, Brother Salim, you lived in Mecca. There's an importance in that. But now we're talking about lions. And if we think about lions, the most obvious thing we think about is, of course, ancient Egypt, where we have the great Sphinx by the pyramids on the Nile. So people will ask me, what do you know about Egypt? Have you ever visited Egypt? Did you travel to Egypt? I'll say no. I lived there, brothers and sisters. Did I ever tell you that I lived in Egypt? All right, here we go. 1991. Graduated from high school. Houston, Texas, the Lone Star State that is, Memorial High School. Everybody's getting ready to go off to college. Not me, not being part of the system. Damn the man. I'm not suckering into that. A Renaissance education? No, I'm too smart for that. I am going to Egypt. Al-Azhar. There I'm sitting in the land of Egypt, studying at Al-Azhar and at the American University of Cairo. Sitting on the top of the pyramids, looking out, riding horses around the pyramids itself. It is important that I say all these things because I need you to understand that when you talk to somebody or hear somebody who's telling you a story about locations, it's not just about somebody who's read some information in a book. We have to be able to express feelings and meanings and what you experience by being there. That I actually lived there, spent time there, got to be a resident of the place so that the energy and the vibration and the flavor and the sound and the feelings of the place mix into you. Isn't that the way people that we know of in the past and masters have gone to sacred sites? Isn't that the way all those who are now waking up are realizing? So there I was, 18, 19, studying the Arabic language, my first step into the ancient knowledge, and now we've got this huge Sphinx from an ancient people, and the debate begins. Who were these people? Right? We have these concepts in the Quran of telling you, go back and look at the ancient societies and civilizations. And we've talked about in past shows the concept of societies evolving and devolving and getting to ebbs and flows at different cycles. And already in Egypt now there is an awakening amongst the people in this day and age that there is an importance to these huge monuments in stone that are built and that are connected to patterns and constellations that we look up to in the sky. And strange theories and concepts of hidden, secret knowledge underneath the structures. Signs of things up above and signs of things within, below. Doesn't it sound like something we would love to get into, brothers and sisters? Beings of the lion community from outer space. So we have this concept built in. where the ancient societies had these huge statues of lions guarding their places. Here in the West, if you get into real estate and you're very wealthy, you put a little statue of 2 lions in front of your house. Why? I don't know. There are these statues and rituals that people practice. What is it that we're looking for? Who has found a key? Is everything that you're looking for there? There's a clip in the original Stories of Truth of a moment where I am talking about my father traveling to India and him having a heart attack. And in the Stories of Truth, for anybody who wants to go back and look, oh, Brother Muhammad, you might enjoy this and see, there's a clip where I mentioned the very moment that he has his heart attack. And there's a sign there for some of you who want to look and go back. Was the information always there? It's kind of interesting to look back and see, because tonight we're going to be talking about specifically what happened to Shamshad Ali Siddiqui, my father, that night in India. Let's go back to ancient Egypt. There is a fear in mankind right now that the secret knowledge of the rituals and religions of ancient Egypt are somehow passing on through the Romans, through the pagans, through the Vatican, through the icons and symbols of clans and families, to the royal crests of royal families, to the statues in front of homes, in front of modern real estate developments today. Is there a deeper meaning to these statues that line certain passageways, that adorn certain walkways in ancient Egypt? The Sphinx itself? What is the meaning of this deeper iconography that we're seeing here? Now, many of you have begun to be exposed to some of the negative impacts of the cat image, the feline. We're going to talk about strange issues. We're going to talk about a lot of strange issues, brothers and sisters. So I warn you. Like I said, this is the HotConflict.com video series. There's so much I want to tell you and so much you're not prepared for. People are starting to put together some of the ancient symbols and seeing that the symbols like reptilians or lizards or snakes have always depicted a certain thing. And that imagery is not of fantasy beings, of imaginary myths and fiction, and the knowledge of the reptilians is beginning to be widespread. But now there is coming a change, and the knowledge of felines, and the age of Leo, and the Leonid period, or the Lyran Leos. People are starting to become awake to different things. And so let's see how these icons have been used against us. Well, we have a lot of different concepts, right? We've got pagan concepts of the lion goddesses, Sekhmet, Bast. We've got the Sphinx itself, and many people say it possibly had a different image, not the more human-like features that we see now, but perhaps a more lion-type face. And we have imageries of lions that is used amongst the secret societies, and of course the concept of lions, and of course the concept of cats and cat people, the cat nature, the feline nature, pussycats. This whole concept, even in the linguistics of our society, to denigrate and demean this very feminine nature. We're talking about a very feminine aspect or flavor or energy. And also, we're talking about something violent, a violent energy, a lion energy, a roaring energy, a courageous energy. Could we be talking about everything from strange sexual practices to destructive terrorism and jihad all in one session? Yes, brothers and sisters. Let's go into all of this in one concept. From the very beginning, we see the most ancient of our societies have been trying to point to certain things, and we know that all symbols and all images are never depicting God and are therefore not worthy of worship. That we do not worship any idols or statues or icons or symbols in any way, shape, or form. So is it possible then that these symbols and icons actually have power or energy? And how has this been used in the past and in our history? And how is it being used now? And how will it be used in the future? Well, in ancient Egypt, we see that the symbol of the lion was revered as a holy energy, a divine feminine energy, a symbol attributed to often the energy of the sun, the purity of the sun. And oftentimes amongst modern Orientalist scholars or academic scholars, that has been interpreted to imply very pagan attributes, dark attributes, false attributes, pushing people towards dark energies and concepts of paganism and evil worship against true monotheism. And then we have concepts of the cat and witchcraft and the black cat and curses and evil omens. Still a very feminine energy. And then we have in war lions. Lions, courageous lions. Of course, we have what? The Wizard of Oz, courageous lion. So we have to understand what it's like and think. We often look at the reptile race and then the reptilian race, and we recognize that these are beings. And so if we're going to understand this story and talk about lion beings, then we have to think about what it was like before. What story am I talking about? Am I talking about my father and what I learned from my father